The NFL's about to get nuttier than ever with NFL Supercoach Nutters. I'm the Beast, my gigantic co-host Big Ted. We break down all the Supercoach options news and insane takes you need, so you don't have to scroll through endless stats or weird Facebook threads. Forget boring podcasts. This is the only NFL show where the advice is as wild as the hosts. Hit that subscribe, or Big Ted might show up at your draft party.
Oh, yes, Big Ted at the draft party. How would we all go there, Ted?
I'd be the life of the party, Brad, and we all know it. They just migrate to me. They can't help themselves. Good afternoon, mate. How are you?
Good afternoon, mate. I'm very, very well. Good afternoon to all of the listeners and all our faithfuls out there. Really appreciate you tuning in again this week. Here we are, NFL Nutters, to bring you another week of NFL craziness. Yes, we've had more injuries. Yes, we've got a bye Mageddon upon some teams. Some people have gone, holy shit, I've got no players this week after Jamar and CD and a few others drop out. It looks like mostly affecting the wide receiver cauldron, but we'll get to all of that in a minute. How'd you score last week, Ted?
Shit, Brad, to be fair, like a lot of other punters. But to be fair, I still won 3 of me leagues. So there were some players that scored more shit than me. What did I get, actually? I look, of course, I've deleted the app. 434 for me last week. I ate a lot of medicine pills last week, which I wasn't happy about. A couple of plays didn't score very well for me. But others did better. But there were some people that did far worse. So I'm middle of the road, mate. What about you, Braddo?
Mate, I got 470, just near 470 there. Believe it or not, I got green arrows. So that just shows you what sort of a week it was for people. It was a tough week. So if you did only get mid-range 400s, don't go deleting the app. Don't forget you've got a cash head-to-head to play or a bragging rights head-to-head in your workplace or whatever it is like that. So just hang in there. Mid-400s was okay. It wasn't a bad score, actually.
Look, here's how I look at it, Braddo. I myself got green arrows, but I only went up 50 places, right? Now, in the Podmasters League, shout out to all of those other good buggers which are in this because there's quite a few pretty competitive coaches which are doing pods, Brad. Surprise, surprise. But here's some of their scores for the week. The overall leader out of all the Podmasters, which is Corey from SC Elite. Shout out to Corey, friend of the show, of course. He's an excellent coach. Loves his AFL too. I think that's his number one code. He got a 493. Will Fry's got a 490. There was a couple of 540s, a couple of 500s, 405. There was a 404, a 412, a 434, a 418, a 419. So there were some other Podmasters really getting a pretty rough time of it this last week gone, Braddo. So we can all flush it and move on.
Indeed. Well, the leader in our league, and we have a league here at Supercoach Nutters, an open league with quite a few hundred people in there. Now we got to our leader is Jason. And Jason had a 439. So that gives you an idea there, Ted. It's good as a person who is leading our league. He's ranked 78th overall. And getting that 439 dropped him down 28 places in the rankings. So, look, a shout-out to Jason, number one. Well done on leading the league. Yeah, not such a good score last week. We get that, but that does happen. Not so good there. Another shout out to the Supercoach Nutters. The Supercoach Legends. The Legends League that I think both you and I are part of, Ted.
Legends League?
Yeah, I think we're ranked number 2.
Have we gone up? Oh, is that in the Legends 2 League? Or it's Legends
Or is it the one? No,
in the
League rank.
Legends League?
Yeah,
No, we've gone. Oh no, we've gone up to number 5. Number
yeah, number
5.
5. Yeah,
Number
number 5.
5. We're flying. We're flying. And loving it, you know, like those boys which are in that number 1 overall league. I think Benny's in that. That must be like a Shark Tank, mate. Every head-to-head just must be so frightening every week, mate.
It is frightening every week. It's a battle. I'm coming, I think, about 7th, and it's just like, I'm only just hanging in there half the time. Some very good coaches in there. But that's why we love playing this NFL Supercoach. It does produce some excellent head-to-head gaming. It's just great stuff.
Well, look, Braddo, talking about that, just like real quick, right? In the Legends and in the Legends 2 League, and there's pretty similar players in them two leagues. There's a couple different, right? One of them I'm coming 6th, one of them I'm coming 19th. So there you go. Week. You're just up against a gun, like, you know, someone coming 13th overall or 20th overall or 70th overall. It's fuck. Anyway,
yeah,
that's why we love it.
Not many points in it, that's for sure. Not as brutal as EPL. If you've tried playing that, you should see that. That's just crazy. Fuck.
Beyond me.
They're scoring like 2 and 1 points, and your head-to-head leagues are winning by 2 and 1, and yeah, it's tiny. Anyway, it's almost time that we better start off with our first segment of the day. Here we go.
Get into it.
We will. It's now time for the injury report with your host, Big Ted.
This NFL injury report is brought to you by George Kittle's Hammy Helper, the only hammy helper you need to fix old tired legs.
Yes, the old George Kittle hammy helper. There was a few little hammies getting busted this week. What's doing the rounds in the news? What are we know? The injuries first up.
Stocks are soaring in the hammy helper. Better than Bitcoin. Braddo, where would you like to start this week, mate? Quarters, wides, tight ends. We've got
just start with the quarterbacks. We know there's been a bit of movement there. There's been some coming, some going.
First of all, let's start it off with the Captain Obvious one out. Daniels from the Commandos. I was fortunate enough to watch this live, and in the live chat, I'm messaging to Brad, you've just got to watch this one. Not his good arm. It was his left arm, but it certainly went 180 degrees backwards the other way. So if you are a Commandos owner of Daniels, he's out, gone. He's already had his surgery, but that's season over. He'll be back next year, possibly. He's not on your roster, Brad, and I'm not too sure how heavily owned he is, but he's definitely gone, mate. He's gone for the season.
I started the year with him, but he didn't last very long. So yeah, it's been a pretty torrid time for him. He's been up and down, and he started okay, I think, in the first couple of weeks. But yeah, bad luck to him. Bad news.
Yeah, gone. Next injury in the quarterback department, the Texans' CJ Stroud will not remember the game. He got crunched in the head pretty hard, and even though you got one of those helmets on, just the impact was just so hard. And he's seen stars, and they've got him out on a HIA. Not sure of his percentage of ownership, Brad, but he's gone. He's gone. Next one we've got, I reckon we're going to go to this one here. Kyler Murray being put on the IR. It's all Jacoby Brissett there now. But if Kyler Murray's put on the IR, Brad, I don't think we'll ever see him playing for that franchise ever again. I think they've just said he's injured, moved him off, and, mate, he'll be sold on next year. Goodbye, Kyler Murray. That's about all of the other quarterback news. Brad, that's unless you've got some, mate.
No. Look, I do apologise, folks. I'm relying very heavily on Ted this week. Those who know what I do for a living, this week is probably the busiest week of the year for me. So I've been doing some nut shifts and some crazy times. So, yeah, I've missed a bit this week. I will admit that.
And just on the Cup this year, I take a pretty massive trifecta. I box every single horse I could possibly think of. I'm going, Brado, give me tips from the inside. I've got a couple of other insiders. I backed every other horse. I got first, second, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Not the second and third, unfortunately. But we all love it, and we lose more than we win, and we know this. And if you have a problem gambling, seek help. But if you're just like a casual punter, oh God, I love the Cup, Brado. I love the Cup.
Oh, it's the uncertainty of 24 horses. It's pretty crazy. It is certainly it's not a race that's you don't serious punters steer well clear of it, but mug punters,
punters, you all want to crack.
Yeah, well, it's exciting, The first four is 100 odd grand, and you all want a piece of that 100 grand, and bragging rights to say you got it, and it just great
every year.
Yeah,
every year. Well, it gets everyone involved with a little sweep here and there. Everyone's nanas used to run a sweep back in the day, and everyone would have their 50-cent trifecta. Even the kids back at school, even though we used to sneak off to the tab, and like the oldest one of us would try and get into the tab, put punts on. But that happened back in the day. Anyway, hey, moving on.
Running backs. What's happening in the
running backs? Aaron Jones. If you are an Aaron Jones owner, he's got a bit of a knee and a shoulder injury. He's a bit banged up, and it'll be all Jordan Mason this week, I would imagine. Brad, any shares in Aaron Jones on your roster?
Not a chance, and nor would I. And I'm not bagging anyone that's got him. It'd be a good pickup in some draft comps, but in something like Supercoach where we don't have to, where everybody is available to you, he's just too damn old, mate.
Too damn old, gone. Well, look, really, there's not too much more news. Ramonde Stevens from the Patriots, he's out. It might be Henderson time. Finally, we keep on saying it might be fucking Henderson time, Brad, and we're still waiting. It's like we're hanging on the edge of a cliff with our fingers, and you just don't know how much longer you've got until you've just got to give up on him.
Well, he did very well last week. I don't think you have to give up on him. He's got a very, very low break even this week on the back of his 20-odd points last week.
He scored a 21.
Yeah, well, 21 points. I think he's a hold. You hold him at the moment. He's up to 5 million. He's already made you a couple, and there's a couple more to be made yet, I think.
He's just holding the pine.
Yeah.
Holding the pine with Genty, who actually just quietly did supremely well last week with the 30-odd, and everyone was going, sell him. We were all saying, hold Genty. So pats on the back to the nutters, Brado there. Not much more news. I sort of follow updates of Shefty, but sometimes that's like following, I don't know, what's the guy from Newcastle? The real forgetful one. Some of his mail's good, some of it's not. I follow the NFL injury site, and I check training schedules. So I'm just going on this week. Cook didn't practice this week, so there could be an issue with James Cook. Don't know whether anyone's heard anymore. These sort of clubs can hide it, and they don't tell the truth. Who knows? Maybe Cook might be out.
Yeah, let us know if anyone knows.
Yeah, let us know. Please reach out to the show. Now, hey, Brad, that's about all I can see with the running backs. We could just move straight on to some tight end situation here.
That's where the big news is, so I didn't know whether you wanted to leave that last.
I'll just go like this, right? We'll just make it, because this is injury news. This is not discussion. Tucker the fucker, right? He's gone, right? Kraft is gone. That's all I'm saying. We're moving on. Not much more injury news in the tight end there, right? Bar from who was back last week. Anyway, moving on. Wide receivers, Brad. Now, Puka last week. everyone loves Pooker because he's just standing there going, I am the man, throw it to me. He took one up and he got hurt as a running back, not as a catcher. They sent him up the tunnel. He came back. They put him on the sideline, so it wasn't like he was carted off and blue-tended. It wasn't like he went to the X-ray room. It wasn't like they rushed him straight to their hospital facility. He was on the sideline, but he did not participate. He was on like 31 points at halftime. I'm going, here comes me captain, Pooker, gonna move me up the ranks. Instead, I got fucked. What are you going to do with Pooker, Brad? You holding? You selling?
Oh, I'm holding. Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Not worth a trade at this point in time. We're all getting a bit slim in trades. And it really depends, like, who your reserve or reserves are on your bench. By now, you should start and stiffen up some of the bench spots. That's why Genty, we keep saying it's a hold. I mean, if somebody drops out of one of your 4 running backs, you've still got Genty to come back in, as long as your other running back is half decent as well. They don't have to be world beaters. They've just got to be enough to get you double-digit points so that you don't look like a spastic. And that's why Matthew Golden is so bad, because he's just worth nothing and now he's hurt, but we'll get to that one. So, no, I'm thinking I'll just hold him, and if he doesn't play, well, hopefully my decent reserve running back WR can come in and fill that place there.
Well, this is where the pandemonium or the shit hits the fan. Because I myself, being a super massive, super brain, super coach guy, I'm thinking my bench will cover me. But this week, our bench is fucking us, Brad, right? Because we've got injuries not only to Keyshawn Booty, right? So, like, it was going to be booty time this year, but he's on his second round of hammy helper. He's making progress, but he's certainly not playing this week. So, mate, he's making great leaps and bounds forward. T. Higgins, even though they're on the bye, he's got an upper body injury, but he's so skinny, it could be anywhere on the upper body because, like, skinny limbs snap and those tendons get stretched because they've got a lot of access to move. Not much news on what he's got there, keeping it hush-hush, but he's certainly injured. But this is the interesting news. We all held on to Golden, thinking we're going to have the Golden showers all over us and we'll be marching our way to the finals with a stacked bench with players that have generated cash, right? Golden's banged up, got a shoulder injury. He hasn't trained yet, but they are on the last game of the round on the Monday, and they don't have to train until a day after everyone. So every other team news is out. There's no Packers news out. So we don't know if Golden's in, don't know if he's out yet. So this is a conundrum. Our other injury news is Travis Hunter. We all held on to him, even though we're going, why are we playing someone who's a defensive and an offensive player? He's shit. We made the mistake. We held on to him. He started to generate, Brad, going real nice and comfy. He got a -10 break even, going to make himself $1 million next start. And he goes and gets banged up, and now he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. So that really crushes any hope of, like, Hunter being of any good to most of us because he's heavily owned.
Yep.
Conundrum is, Brad, is it Parker Washington which comes in and steps up? Is it Diami Brown? But I'm sure that we can move on with that, because at the same time, you got Brian Thomas Jr., who was probably the clear standout, on the same team as Travis Hunter, all banged up. So I'm sure there's plenty to talk about later, but there's trouble in that camp, Brado.
Yes, it looks a very, very scary wide receiving room there. It's not very it's not pretty who's left, that's for sure. We do have a question about it too later, so we might even leave it to later. Ooh,
Pretty young. It's a young receiving room there. There's plenty of opportunity for someone who's got the balls, and if you want to get the right player in, there's some good talking points there. But that's probably all of the relevant news, Brad. If I've missed anyone, it's only because the current NFL stats just aren't giving it to me, and I'm not going to rely on like watching other people's podcasts and like anything like that, Brad. I'm just going straight to the source. And if the source hasn't got it, well, we're fucked.
Yeah, and as I found this week, fake news is a very rife in the NFL, worse than the NRL. It's there's a big report came out say Flowers wasn't going to play this week because his mum was sick and this sort of thing. I don't know what sick individual would have put that out there. I mean, this ran quite widely across quite a number of sites. I thought, oh, Jesus, and then I went and shared it. And then some folks went and contacted me, and thank you very much for that, that say Flower's mum has actually died. Years ago. Right, it was like, I go, oh, well, who would post this crap, And this was coming from official fan sites and stuff like that. I'm going, oh, man. So I do apologise. I ripped down the post as soon as it went up. But, just sick individuals,
So when I look on Wikipedia for Brad the Beast, and it says that you're the you're the chairman of the Wine and Cheese Appreciation Club of Coffs Harbour, this is misinformation.
It is misinformation because I don't bloody drink wine, mate. Yeah, can't stand the stuff. All right, so that is the end of our news and our news sort of section. So I guess it brings us back. We'll get to a burning question for you. It's not. These are just going to be a couple of things. Now, if you had Tucker Kraft, who are you going to go? Are you going to go McBride or are you going to go Bowers?
Well, 50-50. They're both going to hit it, but I think, and if we do have some questions from the viewers, I think the only answer is to go to Brock Bowers because of who's left in that team. He's a clear freaking superstar. You just have to get him in your team. If you haven't got other fires, Bowers would be target number one for people that have got Tyler Warren. He's got his bye coming up. So that's like you, Brad, being the former Indianapolis Colts lover. It's time to get off that bandwagon because they got their bye coming up. So Warren is as good as cooked. It's Bowers and it's McBride time all day long.
No, that's very good, and I don't mind that. I think that all of that makes complete and utter sense. Next question for you, and this one was just. By the way, this bloke is going to get my bag of dicks, but anyway, we might as well talk about him now. If you've got Matthew Golden and you've got Roma Dunze, which one is more an urgent sell?
Look, for me, if I had Rome, I'd still hold him. He actually played. It's just that he was like not getting targeted, mate. He got 3 targets. He dropped it 3 times or something like that.
3 times.
So he had a pretty bad day at the office. But we've all done that, Brad. We've all had a bad day at the office. But see, Golden, he's banged up apparently, and there's no news. But this is the thing. Maybe they might give him the needle because they've got no one else there. Like Green Bay is just stripped bare. You're clutching at straws either way. Romy should be the guy, but I don't have him. It's a non-issue for me. If I had him, I'd hold him. I'd certainly get rid of Golden if you could, but I'm in the situation, and like others will be, we all like the Cowboys, and we've got Pickens on a bye. You've also got Dak on a bye. So it's like this. Do you trade Pickens out, use that money to bring in one of your keepers, or do you fix up a little Romy who could hit it this week? Who knows?
Yeah, it's a real quandary. Asking for a friend, that one. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yes, always asking for a friend.
Yes, I am a Rome owner. I'll admit it. It's a disgusting situation to be in because I own both him and Golden. And I'm going, well, man, what am I going to?
Well, I'd get rid of Golden. Golden's got to go, but like, hey, as like we were talking there with the Jacksonville team, maybe Parker Washington's still pretty cheap. Could be a sneaky, nice little grab, but because we're on the run home to the finals now, do you want to be getting in these little fucking cash earners, which are like dinking, like going to make a couple of million, might hit it, or do you just want to bring in a fucking certified gun? And that's where I'm at, So it's like if I could trade Golden to someone like a Sun God or someone like a sneaky AJ Brown this week, fresh off his bye at 12 million. Someone like that would be juicy, Brad, but certainly you've got to get rid of Golden if you can, or if you can do Golden out, Bowers in, all kudos to you.
Yeah. So do you think, all right, so, well, next question, I guess, trading in at around about that 12 million mark, you like what you see in AJ? You think he's capable of actually hitting it?
Yeah, I think he's well capable because he's I started the year with him because I knew how good he was. And then when I went through my flushing the Browns, get rid of all of my chasers and stuff, he was my first one to go with him and Amon-Ra. I'm finally bringing him home. For those of us out there which are only players but don't really watch this game with a passion, he's a sort of like a loner player, sort of like turns up to a club and goes, you guys can stay over there. I'm just going to do my shit over here. But you make sure that you show me that ball. Well, he's finally to that point now where he's demanding that ball and his quarterback's giving it to him and he's producing, Brad. So that's what I'm liking about him. Fresh off the bye, he's not banged up. He's hungry and he's just like a really strange guy, but he's a great Supercoach player.
So around about his price point, you've got a few other that, I mean, Jaden Waddle's only 12 million, no?
Yeah, but it's just the team that he's on. It leaves a terrible taste in my mouth that, no. I don't like it. Personally, no.
Now, well, that probably a big question. What about Romeo? Romeo Dubes.
Well, yeah, no, look, if you just give me 1 second here, I'll just tell you what an official site says about Romy's. Okay. He was also absent at practice on Wednesday, so it's sounding like it's going fucking terrible for you there, bro.
Forget that. Yeah.
Okay. He was joined on the injury list with fellow wideout DJ Moore. So they're absolutely freaking struggling there. I don't know whether they are going to start him, but does that mean that you've got guys like this, Olamide Zacchaeus or someone like that who's going to step up to the plate? But maybe they will rely on him, but they aren't telling us if he's playing, Brad, but maybe that's just an indication to get rid of him, mate, just to go, Rome, you're gone.
Well, another one in around about that price point, and I know that you're actually having a look at this fella.
Yes.
But Marvin Harrison, 10 million, that'd be a good one to stash on your bench, surely.
Okay, now look, I did watch that game. I chose not to watch Red Zone and just watch that game. The coaching unit in that game wanted to make him their clear wide number one, and they just kept on throwing him the ball. They threw it to him 100,000 times. He was out there for almost every single snap. He got everything which came his way. If you want to get on. I think that it's a bit risky there. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. He is a cheeky downgrade for a nice upgrade somewhere else, though. But if he's your primary trade in for the week, no. If he's your primary guy in, avoid him. I think that there's guys which are just absolute certified number ones. Check out how many gold chains they've got around their neck on the field. Go for the guys with like 10 rows of chains because they're the ones that the money goes to, Brado. And I can't see that many rows of chains around him, mate.
Well, he's only very young. I think this is what, his second or third year now. He's coming, I don't know. For 10 million, but there is a few other ones there. I'm going to throw a few more names at you. I mean, obviously, Troy Franklin is one, another wide receiver coming up through the ranks very fast for Denver. He's nearly number one there. He's getting preference that much.
Could be. But they've got a tough head-to-head, and will they be throwing it, or will they just be, with that two-headed running back beast, which they've got going there these days? If you want to go out on a limb and take a Bronco, go all for it. Back on to Marvin Harrison. He's 23 years of age, 6'3", 220 pounds, so he's 100 kilos. He's a speedster. What can I say? He was out there for 72% of snaps last game. He received 10 targets, caught 7 of them for 96 yards, and with 1 TD. With Jacoby Brissett throwing him the ball, maybe they've got that bit of a link. They both come from the same high school team. He could be good, Brad, but I think there's better options.
A PE of 6, coming off the back of 38 points last week. Now, another one that was coming off the back of a huge amount of points last week, Mr. DJ Moore, 41 points last week. Very, very priced nicely at 10 million and -5 a break even.
I'm liking it. I'm just going to have a look here, though. DJ Moore misses his practice. Chicago Bears wide receiver DJ Moore, hip groin, did not practice Wednesday. The 28-year-old, so he's no spring chicken, Brad. He's all banged up over the past few weeks. He's had lingering injuries. It hasn't held him back on the game day, though. But Chicago's dealing with their top 2 wide receivers possibly being out, as in Rome and DJ Moore. They're just a trap. They're a trap for this week. Maybe not next week or the week after, but for Supercoach purposes this week, just avoid.
The only other name I will throw at you, and it might be relevant because some people have actually whispered his name to me, Rashid Shaheed. It comes in at a pretty cheap price. He now finds himself at Seattle, courtesy of not Seattle, the Seahawks. He finds himself at the Seahawks, courtesy of a mid-season trade. He probably was one of the bigger names to be traded. But with JSN there, you wouldn't think he's going to get a huge amount of ball, would you?
No. Or no. Well, look, maybe they might go like this to keep the shareholders happy up there at Seattle. They might say to Sam Darnold, who's actually just having a massive year this year, fresh off the bye too, so they're good to go. He's a cheeky one to grab if you're looking for a different QB as a pod. But Sam Darnold just might target him to say, now we're a two-headed beast. They might want to showcase him. It could actually face fuck JSN this week harder than owners expect, or JSN might just say to the coach, you don't show me the ball, you get nothing from me, mate. It's my show, not his show. I don't know the politics of the place real well, but it scares shit out of me to have them there both now, mate, because we were given Tory Horton pats on the back this year. We pointed him out as a little cheapy pod. He started to score some tutties lately. Absolutely freaking killed him. Cooper Kupp. Who in the fuck are you now, Cooper Kupp? Right? You are history. It's just too deep there now. Yeah. So, Rashid Shaheed, thanks for fucking us all over, mate. That's all I'm going to say. Bretto, I can't say anymore.
All right. Quick lively opinion just coming in there then. from Benny G. He says, Ted is becoming a lefty. Always knew he loved the Greens.
I love the Greens, mate. We love the Greens. G'day, Benny G. Love the Greens.
Hey, Benny, not a problem there. All right. Well, as I said earlier, we'll just quickly get this one done. I don't know if you can.
It's time for Bag of...
Oh, dear, the old bag of dicks. Well, due to the fact that I actually own Rome, he gets my bag of dicks this week for absolutely doing nothing. And I got beaten in a head-to-head by somebody who stashed London due to he didn't like the matchup. So he went and put London on the bench, played Rome, right? And then Rome plays a full game, gets a D-not-B from Supercoach, which should not happen. It should not happen.
It should not.
He fucking played. So then, because he gets a DNP, he goes back into the bench, and London came back onto the field with his huge score.
With
And
his
then
70 odd.
I got cactus.
Yep.
So, Rome, you get and the number 2 bag of dicks, of course, for me goes to Supercoach itself for allowing such a weird-ass anomaly to occur. If he plays, he should be on if he gets a 0. If you're playing NRL Supercoach or AFL, if you played and you get 0, you get 0. Or you can even get negative points if you really were a spastic during the game and got yourself set off like Latrell did a couple of years ago. You can get a minus figure. So, that's my bag of dicks.
Yeah, I can't remember who I had, but he got HIA'd. He knocked it on, and he got me -8 for the game. I can't remember who it was. It was a couple of years ago. But yeah. And my bag of dicks there's Benny G's bag of dicks. Yeah, no, just my whole team as well, mate. I'm just going so shit this year. I've tried to be cheeky. I've tried to have a 1 QB approach and have a 5-headed monster running back committee that's just going to fucking be like Rommel and just take the desert on and crush everyone. And instead I've had guys have scored 7 and 8 and fucked me proper, while other people who've been on Indianapolis Jones have been riding off into the sunset, 50s and 60s, and captaining him. And so, I've tried really fucking hard, but I myself must get the bag of dicks this week, bro. That's where we're at.
Well, Benny's also written in again, and he said that his bag of dicks goes to his whole team. So he is with you there, Ted. He reckons he's already in the BBL mode. He's already getting.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, Brad. We're already started to talk bash mode. So for those of us that are in the Legends League, and we might put out a little link for the Nutters Bashers. Yeah. So if you like to cross code and, not do baseball but do cricket, we might run a little comp ourselves independently this year, Brad. Cash, of course, all run by Brod. I wouldn't trust my cash with anyone else in the universe except for Brod.
Well, yes, and a shout out to Brod. If you want to go over to, I think you'll find a link there on BBL Fanatics or BBL Weapons. There's a link to Brod's cash comps. He's always paid, and as a few of us have known, I know Lloydie's had some bad experiences lately with someone who did not pay up, who was heavily advertising and was heavily involved in cash leagues. And no, you got to go with someone you trust and someone you know if you're going to get involved. All right, you ready for some questions?
Question time.
I've got to get an intro for that one. I'll have to work at that. I will work at that.
Yeah, what happened to the
Yeah, I know this week. Yes, it dropped out somewhere. I have to go find it again. I don't know why.
Could have been my audio system that fucked us before the show started, Brad, but we won't tell the audience about the dramas we've been through.
Our live background this week's a bit different too. It's a bit funked up. But anyway.
The things we go through to get the show out, to keep the masses happy, Brad.
Stephen Proust from Stephen is one of the administrators over there at NFL Fanatics. Go check it out, folks. Great site. There's a lot of good info that does get dropped there and questions, and You get to pick up little bits and pieces about what's happening around the leagues, which, as we know with NFL, can be inconsistent at times. He says, is Saquon a trade-in at his price?
Well, Brad, real quick on Saquon. Latest news from the Philly fan site. Barkley not dealing with a serious groin injury. Well, I'd rather him to say Barkley not dealing with an injury, but it's not a serious one. Barkley was unable to finish Sunday's game against the Giants, of course. He'll have the bye this week, which was last week, and he should be back, right? They've got Tank Bixby behind him, and these are the kind of performances which he's put in over his last 3 games. 12 rushing attempts, 18 rushing attempts, 14 rushing attempts, with also 2, 1, and 4 receiving attempts with a total of shitloads of yards. Yes, of course, he's worth looking at bringing in fresh off the bye. Guys that are fresh off the bye that haven't been banged up are always good for the run home, Brad. So definitely, but here's the thing. Who are you getting rid of to bring him in?
Yeah.
Who
Or an upgrade. Could be an upgrade.
From who? Oh, maybe if you've been one of these Miami Vidal buyers and like guys that have gone a bit cheap, but he's not where I would go. Personally, on the Nutters ranking, Brad, and I know that we do like hundreds and hundreds of emails every week getting back to our fans, but it's like this. Ranked in a tier all of their own. CMC, Jonathan Taylor. In the second tier down, just a sniffy underneath them. Boyjon, James Cook, Josh Jinglebells Jacob, Jamar Gibbs, and then Dowdle. Right, Dowdle has proved himself to be just clear lead back there. I was confused. I thought it might have been double-headed committee, but they would be the only people which I would consider having in any of your 4 starting spots. And if you were like me with a cheeky RB in the flex, unless you have a randomly good week, don't do it. You'll get fucked over. Have a quarterback and just 4 of those premiums. That's it.
Yep.
Brado, this is the first season of us doing it. It's a learning curve. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm coming like 18th out of 21 Podmasters. It's a tough fucking competition. It's a learning year, but I will always be learned to always have 2 quarterbacks and start with the 4 best running backs and make your money in your wides and your tights. Just get yourself set. Season 2 for us, folks, will be much better than season 1.
Oh, look, I'm still not out the back door. I'm still knocking away. I'm still getting there. All right. Here's our old anonymous participant, 738. God only knows who this dude is. Is Musgrave on your buy list now that Kraft is out? Now, for those that don't know, Musgrave is basically the main tight end now there, who possibly may benefit. Possibly is the word. May benefit with Kraft missing. What do you reckon, Ted? We sort of had a bit of a look before. Any credence to this?
I've just been pondering it. Anonymous participant 738. Is Musgrave on your buy list? No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm with you.
Bowers. It's Bowers. It's McBride. It's Bowers. Look, Anonymous, we love you. I really want to know how in the fuck you get to do that too. I do not know how you get to do anonymous participant. I've got to find out how. But no, look, seriously, Musgrave, no. Tell me, what are you thinking? You know, like, is this some genius move I've seen? Like, oh, wow, Musgrave, going to be like, okay, we're going to break the whole shackles of that franchise and go, we're just going to give it all to you because you're like a rookie. Fucking step in, son. Here's the keys to the fucking Ferrari. No, they're going to go, Josh Jinglebells Jacob. Christmas is fucking near around the corner. We're going to run it. It's your ball, son. Up that way. They're not going to give it to a tight end like that. Don't do it for $8 million just go to that little step higher. Go to your Marvin Harrisons. Go to your like Romies if you've got balls this big. But do not go to just do not go to him, bro. Just don't do it. No.
You're never going to get Bowers as cheap as what he is this week, folks. If you should be looking at a premium to finish the year. You've probably only got 5 to 8 trades left, most people.
Yep.
If you've got more trades than that, I don't know how. But anyway, yeah, so that's about where you should be at. Get Bowers to finish the year. That's what you want.
You need him.
Talk about a genius. We have a bloke called SC Genius writing into us. Jesus.
SC Genius, welcome to the Nutters, SC Genius.
He's come to the Nutters. He's come to the right place. I think he means is Myers at the Jaguars, the WR1 there, and worth a punt at $8 million for bench cover.
Well, Brad, pre-show, we were talking about him, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about him. Fuck. Is he worth a punt? At the Jaguars, Jacoby Myers. Okay.
Well, you sort of thought that Grover Washington Jr. Yes, I know that's not who
Parker,
it is.
Grover. Yeah, no, look, I'm trying to look into it here. Look, I don't think he is really. He was out there last week for 90% of the snaps. He got 6 targets. I know that. I know that Parker Washington is going to be their number one because I think he's banged up. No, Genius, no, and the cash out on Rome. Oh fuck, mate, I don't know. I still don't know what to do there. But I think that Myers would be one of those guys after this round, you're going to be going, why in the fuck am I calling myself a genius and I've got him on my fucking bench doing nothing because he's not going to be one of the top 6 which you want to have in your running team. I don't know. But I love that name. Fucking cracking name.
Well, we've got one here. We've got another question here from the party pooper.
Straight to Bowers.
He goes straight to Bowers, or was that just a crazy one-off game by him? No, it's not a crazy one-off. Go have a look last year of his output, his production, and yeah, it's not a one-off. There's nobody else there to throw it to. It's him, or it's God only knows. Yeah,
okay.
It's Bowers all the way.
Bretto, last week though, just some of his stats, they were just amazing. Just to refresh how good he was. But hey, mind you, this is not a one-off thing. You know when Turbo went on his streak and it was like, if you do not have him in, or when Teddy gets hot, and it's like they're just banging out hundreds for fun, right? It's like this, 81% of snaps, 13 targets. He caught 12 of them for 127 yards with 3 touchdowns. I don't think he can keep the production of tuddies up like to 3, but he's at least good for 1 or 2 because, wait for this, they've got Dante Thornton, they've got the other Tucker the fucker, they've got the other Trey Tucker in there, and they've got nobody else but Ashton Genty to run it up the guts. So they've got Ashton Genty and they've got your man Brock Bowers, and it's on the tiers of awesomeness. You've got little Ted and you got Big Ted, and Big Ted's way more fucking awesome than little Ted. And mate, Bowers is way more awesome than any other tight end available at the moment. Get on board, party pooper.
He was tight end number 1 last year by a clear margin, by a long way. It was daylight the next person down, and even that person wasn't that good. All right, so now we lead off with a question here from the Supercoach Squirrel Ripper.
Oh, the Grippy.
I have JJ McCarthy, who are the must-have 2 quarterbacks to run home with. Mate, I personally cannot answer that because I mean, I'm going to be doing Lamar and Allen probably, but you have a look at the figures of Drake May. Would you have considered his output at the beginning of the season could be so high? No. Sam Darnold, who Ted mentioned earlier, would I say that he's stupid for going him? Absolutely not, because these blokes are actually winning people their leagues at the moment. That's just two. They're two of the best. Brissett is not even doing that badly. Like, it's quite amazing the amount of options you really do have, and then you've got Mahomes as well, and no,
Well,
there are no must-haves, so you've just got to make a choice and stick with it.
now look, Bretto, the way I look at it is that you've got your clear two, which is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen owned by 42%, Lamar owned by 21%, right? Now, you've got JJ McCarthy owned by 31%, Patrick Mahomes owned by 29%. Then you got Cam Ward still owned by 20%. They must be the people that started him as their JJ, and he's just stuck there for the whole year, right? And he's made him 9 million. JJ's going to make more than that, but his run will be later. You can't use their money. But they're the highly owned guys, right? Now, if you want to stick in with the Joneses and like be there at the end, you're going to have at least Allen, Mahomes, and Lamar, any combination of them. Pardon me. But being a super coach, you would start to look at percentage of teams which are a bit lower for your potties, because that's what we're all looking for to break away. And if you look at last week's live points, you've got guys like Caleb Williams owned by 1.7%, 74 points. You've got like Flacco on the buy, right? But wait for what, owned by 164 coaches. If one of those super coaches is in our ranks and they reach out, I'll give a prize at the end of the season for him, because that's the kind of coach we're looking for, right? Now, here's another one. Here's another cheeky one, and I'm really looking at him this week because to get to my end objective, which is to have the two gun quarterbacks, I'm cheekily looking at a Justin Herbert, right? Now, the Justin Herbert, right, 3.7%, 1,200 people own him, 57 scored last week. He scored 387 total points so far, break even at 22. He's had his bye. And wait for this, right? Who does he throw the fucking pill to? Mate, the number one guy in the game. Why aren't we looking at him? 1.2% owned. Is it going to be one of these kind of astute coaches that tunes into the nutters that goes, gee, Brad and Big Ted, you're fucking geniuses for even thinking about this. We never thought about it to break the shackles. But that's the two options which you've got. You can go with the flow, get on the bus, or like you can go, I'm not on the bus, I'm taking the very fast fucking Uber, and you're going around the bus to the finals and you're going to win it. Don't know, Brad. That's the way I'm looking at quarterbacks so far.
Now, one from the Sponge. Do we think that Lamar and Josh Allen are the good? Look, it's basically the same question. So, yeah, we've really covered you on that one, Spongy. Jinx, SC Jinx. I know I have no chance, but with 5 rounds left, how close would somebody need to be to win this overall? Well, I still think if you're only about 300 points off, I think you can still make up that difference, but it's fairly tight still. But that's me.
Yeah. Oh, look, yeah, you can put a chunk of coal in there and pull out a diamond. It's so tied up the top, mate. You know, like it's just a few hours later and you're a wealthy man. Brad, I think that you can be within 500 points of the lead, and like everyone just remember this, right? It's like Bradbury. I don't know if you like, there might be some younger punters that don't know this story. I'm not going to butcher it, but like don't hit the delete yet. Just have faith. Have faith and just make some of those pod moves, like those quarterback moves, captain them, and then hope that like Patty Mahomes gets fucking hooked early because they've scored 3 tutties in the first quarter, and the other team's quarterback gets hauled off and they've got the spud thrown them. These things can fucking separate you, Brad. So I don't know. That's sort of the way I'm looking at it. Oh, Gino does. Gino does. But does Jacoby Brissett suck?
Benny G just came in with it. He reckons that Geno Smith sucks, and he says Bowers is a one-off score, and he won't hit 50 again this year. Well, you're probably right there. 50 is an exception. That's just a nut score. So there's no way I'd bet against that. I reckon you're probably right there. But do I think that he'll average in the high 30s? Yes, I do. And I'll take that from a tight end. Thank you very much. I still think you need him to come home with. Him and Trey McBride, like we said before, they're probably your two you're wanting there.
Well, I'm going to put it to you like this, boys. At Magic Round next year, Benny, when we were at the Cacao with all those fucking 2-headed dribblers up there, you got to watch out for dribble everywhere. They're fucking this bodily fluid flying everywhere. Take napkins. There's a steak dinner on that. I think not only can he do it one time, I think he can do it 3 or 4 times for the rest of the season, Benny. And I know that the steak dinners at the Cacao aren't that cheap, but we're not drinking the local product, mate.
All right. Our lucky last question, it looks like, for the day. One from the Cheese Man. G'day to Jacob.
Hey, Cheesy.
He's been a good listener, been a good watcher. I love the name still, I've got to say. But anyway, the Cheese Man.
Cheese Man.
Is it worth using a trade to cash in on
New England defense? They're worth about... How much are they worth? How much is the New England defense worth? They're worth about
and go down to Denver, who have the Raiders twice, Commanders, and 5 of their last 8 games. Is New England more expensive? I mean, I've owned New England from the day.
$9,890,000. So you could make yourself say $5 million down with your, 6 or so million with a trade down, trading them out.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the first part of it. And to go down to Denver, well, okay. Now looking at Denver, their defense was shit last week. I know they're at home at Mile High this week, but it still means that they could possibly be shit. And then the Commanders and 5 of their last games. No, look, Jacob, if you're fucking with your fucking defensive units and that's your trade for the week, don't. If you don't have to touch it, if it's not broken, don't touch it. I'm a Denver Broncos owner, but I'm not playing them this week. I'm actually rolling in the Jacksonville defense this week. I think that they've got a better chance. No. Actually, I'm telling you lies. Carolina Panthers, I'm bringing in this week, and I'm benching Denver. I don't know what you see there, but no, and don't play with your defensive units now. Surely you've got other Fires or Bowers, which is like Steak Dinner Bowers. He's going to be known by the show for the rest of the season. So every time I refer to the player formerly known as Brock Bowers, he's Steak Dinners at the Cacao Bowers.
Thanks for that question, Cheesy. I'm sort of, I started the year with New England and Houston with the entire idea just to stick with them the entire year. That's who I was going to run with. And that won't change. I've got other fish to fry, as Ted said. He must be very flush with
he's stacked. He must be coming like 10th or something like that, tuning into the Nutters to get his good oil. And I see that Benny G, well, friends of the show are all flying, Brad, because they listen, right? Now, McBride and Warren will outscore Bowers' run home steak dinner deal. Well, I'm telling you, whatever they are smoking in the west of New South Wales, it is very powerful. The heat must be on early. We've got Warren still with his Indianapolis Jones teammate to have a bye. Oh, I'm ordering extra gravy on these steaks, Bretto.
I think that's just crazy. Yeah, that's
Crazy Benny G.
This comes from somebody who we didn't say he was crazy, but he did give us John O'Taylor before anybody even considered him. So, Benny did steer us in that direction very early on in the season, which I do thank you for because I did jump on. So yeah, but yeah, with a bye yet to come, as a punter, I'd be taking that bet.
I'm taking that bet, Benny. We're on, mate. We're on.
All right, folks. Well, that's it for our questions there today. You got anything more there today, Ted?
Nah, that's just about it. There were a few trades here and there, like that Seattle Seahawks trade there, bringing in Rashid Shaheed. There's been a bit of trade movement, but mostly it's been like defensive units and corners and nickels and, guys which aren't relevant to our game. So maybe, like we know that like people from the powers that be listen to the show, you've got to bring in a defensive sort of couple of players and a few more DPPs next year because you can certainly distinguish players which catch and run or just catch. Few DST positions. You've roped us in for the first year. Next year, make it a bit more interesting. And I think that's about all I've got to say for the week, Bretto.
All right. I was just having a quick look then at the most traded out for the week. How's this one for you? Most traded out, one, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, well.
He's on a bye.
Well, maybe it's because like people have gone, you've got to have the two quarterback theory. And if you've got Mahomes on the, like, not earning you squat, and you got an Allen and a Lamar and a Herbert and guys which are killing it. I understand, but geez, you're gonna hate it when that little fucking leprechaun's running around fucking mumbling and going mumble and just fucking boom, boom, boom and mate, hidden Rice. Like it's like you are going to get sick of hearing Mahomes to Rice. Right, so next week, that's also my next cheeky target, Braddo. We're bringing in Rice as soon as he's back from his bye, mate. Think that's where the smart players will be looking at, won't they?
Yeah. The other one that's a bit surprising, number 3 most traded out, Tyler Warren. I don't quite get that.
Mate, preemptive super coaching with his bye to come, and they're all going, Benny G, you better buy a couple of beasts and cut them steaks up a plenty, right? Because everyone's taking you up on that steak bet, mate. It is a bad time to be a fucking vegan, Ben. It's a bad time.
Back to this one. He says you're crazy using last year's stats for Bowers and not the first 4 games of this year. Raiders tanking lads.
No, they're not, Benny. They're loving it, mate. They're loving it.
I'm sort of on your side, but I still think that he's gonna get enough to sneak home. I'm not as overconfident as Ted, nowhere near, but regardless, there's just no one else there to throw it to, mate. But you're right. But he did start the year quite injured, so I'm actually, and we all knew he was injured to start the year. He had a curly toe or some turf toe, bag full of turf toe clippings or something under his bed.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty business.
Nasty business, that turf toe. All right, folks. Well, that is about it. Thank you very much for tuning in. We really appreciate everyone's feedback. We love all the questions. Love the emails and the messages we get. We love all of it. Thank you very much. This will go up on Spotify shortly. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It does appreciate it.
Like, share, and subscribe. We love the lovers. We love the haters. We love everyone at this show, mate. We love everyone at this show. And good luck, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you very much.